All right, so some people were asking about how I go about reverse engineering things, and I had this idea this morning, and I figured might as well record my process. So the thing that I was wondering about were the iMessage text effects. So I'll type in a message here, and I'll just select one word. You can go into text effects, and you can pick jitter. And it appears in here. Hello world, and I'm texting myself, so it'll just appear backwards. And it appears there. So I was kind of wondering how they're doing the letter by letter animation, and it's pretty prevalent here, where it's just rippling through the entire phrase with a variable font. I didn't know what was going on, so I wanted to dig deeper. My first thought was just, okay, what happens if I copy this and it is still going through and animating in here? So whatever's going on is like attached to this text that it knows to continue animating. So it's on the clipboard somewhere. I have this little tool that lets me take a look at what's on the clipboard, or what gets passed through the services, which isn't what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to copy it and go to pasteboard viewer. And I see in here, all right, there's like the plain text, and one of them is UIKit attributed string. I know this app is Catalyst, so that should be pretty straightforward. KIM text effect attribute name. That seems about right. So I know that iMessage is backed by the ChatKit framework. Under the hood, everything is not in the actual iMessage binary. So I have the iOS simulator installed already through Xcode. So when you mount it and it's ready to be used, you can actually dig down all the way and take a look at the actual binaries for the private frameworks. So you can dig down and say, okay, library. You can go into the public ones as well. There's like core data, core graphics, UIKit. But under the hood, you can also go into private frameworks, and I know that the UI is run by ChatKit. So I'm just going to go to ChatKit. I'm sorting from size largest to smallest, and ChatKit is the binary there. And I'm going to use my favorite tool for this, Hopper. And I'll drop this in here, and what it's going to do is it's going to start ripping through the binary to find symbols and strings and anything that could possibly be used to start piecing together how this is happening. My first thought is, I'm just going to focus on the jitter effect. That seems pretty straightforward. So I'm just going to search for jitter. And we have CK jitter X translation. That seems interesting. So I click on that. I double click here to jump through to see the underlying string and where it gets used. And it gets used in CK pinned conversation collection view cell, and it's referenced there a few more times, and everything around here is related to the pinned section. And I know from using the app that when you long press a pinned contact in iMessage, that it starts to do that home screen wiggle effect to let you know that you can pull things in or out of that section. And I know that's not what we're looking for. It is a jitter effect, but it's not the right jitter effect that I'm looking for. And I have a hunch that the rest of these are just going to be related to that. Yeah, okay, so I click through here. This is this is like an actual block of code. You can actually click on the pseudocode button, and it generates roughly what a C, what the C code would look like. And it's still referencing the pinned collection cell. I know it's not right. So what I'm going to do is, while it runs, I'm going to unalias some of the Objective-C selectors. And what it's going to do here is, in some of that pseudocode and some of the bytecode that or the assembly code, it has some incorrect names for things, and the script is just going through and cleaning those up so I can see if it's referencing some address, the actual name for it, rather than just some address. So it's running through it. This is a Python script, and once this is done, we get to export out the actual pseudocode for the entire ChatKit binary. So just renamed 21,000 selectors. That's good. I'm going to save this just in case. I'll save that as ChatKit, because this does take a while to process. I'm actually going to take a look at IMTextEffect, sorry. And we see the string pops in here. Not the exact thing, but pretty close, IMTextEffect. I'm going to double click to see where that gets referenced. That's the Swift enum for IMText. Okay. So I'm guessing that's just like the actual type of animation that we're using. Text composing. Oh no, that's wrong. Text contains IMEffect. That's an alias. Okay, so this seems like the right thing to dig into. It's talking about preparing the text effect for the bubble, showing it in the text field. So that seems right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do class decompile, and what it's going to do is for each class in the ChatKit, you can see it starting to run through. It's going to take every method on that class and generate the pseudocode for it. And by the end of it, we can watch it happening in real time. We get the headers and we get the pseudocode in a Objective-C file. It's all pretty nothing, but it does, like, this wouldn't compile, but it does give you a good idea of what each method is doing under the hood. This is going to take a minute, so I'll just let it run in the background. In the meantime, there's still some extra stuff that we can do with ChatKit. I am thinking that we just saw that Swift enum, that there's probably going to be some more Swift stuff, and I just discovered this tool section. Here it is. This is a utility called Mako Swift section, and it lets you parse these binary files for additional Swift information. This is not something that Hopper does. It's another tool, but I already have it installed. So while it's outputting stuff in this folder, I'm going to run Swift section on ChatKit, and I'm going to pipe it out to a Swift file. If I can type chatkit.swift. And thanks for a little bit, because it's a pretty beefy binary. Yeah, it's getting up there. It's getting close to a megabyte. And this is everything that ChatKit uses for Swift. These are the structs, classes, enums, all in basically readable Swift, much more so than the actual pseudocode. And the other thing I'm going to do with ChatKit is see what it references. As you know, with iOS development, you call in other frameworks like UIKit or Core Audio as you need it. I'm wondering what ChatKit uses under the hood, since it probably imports other private frameworks. And for this, I use otool-uppercase L, drag in ChatKit, and I'm just going to grep for private frameworks, which should slim this down a little bit. Okay. Whoa, my God. Okay. It's referencing so much. Maybe not grep, maybe just output it to cursor. So I'm going to pipe it to cursor dash, and that output just plops into cursor. All right. Language mode text, so it stops yelling at me. And I'm going to sort the lines. I don't really care about any of this. I don't really care about any of the proper frameworks. So now I'm just looking for things that seem like UI or text related. None of these really strike a chord. BubbleKit maybe? Maybe that's related to like rendering text bubbles. I'm just gonna put it up there. Emoji possibly, but probably not. Emoji Kit, Emoji Foundation, yeah, maybe. Icon services, image playground. I am shared UI. Okay, that might be something because the key that we were looking at from the clipboard was I am text effect or something. That's transcoding. Photos. Springboard, that's the home screen stuff. Text composer. Text input, maybe? UI foundation, possibly, as well. I'm just going to go through and see if there's any... Okay, text understanding is probably machine learning related. And that seems about right. I'm going to do a quick sanity check to see what's going on with BubbleKit. This is a tiny binary. What assets does it have? Nothing. Okay. If I just plop this into Hopper real quick, I should get a good idea if this is relevant or not. No. Okay, so this looks like it's literally just meant for rendering the bubble shape and nothing else. It has like tail style, tail edge, the Bezier curves. So that's not relevant. I am shared UI, maybe. I'm skipping over the emoji stuff because that was kind of a reach. This is another pretty small file, but maybe it has something. Animation, effect, text, effect, jitter, bubble. Okay, that's something. Ripple. All right, probably not the right thing. I don't know what this does. Maybe related to like rendering the transcript. It has thinking dot, like the 3 dots, typing indicator animation. Okay, so maybe it's related to that. I don't know why it doesn't have any assets. It seems like it would, but sure. That doesn't seem super relevant. I did see while I was going through here, text, what was it called? Text animation support, text formatting UI, text composer. I think text composer is just actually writing text and like text input. Same thing as all these other things. So I think I'm done with that, and I'm going to focus on text animation support. That seems kind of promising. So I'm going to drag this in here, see if there's anything related to jitter. Yes, there is. Okay, that's great. What I'm going to do is, I'm seeing a lot of Swift symbols in here, so there's probably not much Hopper's going to do, but I'll go through the motions and, you know, unalias things that were named 9. And I will class decompile this, so it's gonna, oh, that was fast, all right. Close out of this, and also do the same Swift section thing to text animation support. I'll open that up as well. And we pipe this out to text animation support dot Swift. Did that go through? Yes, it did. And what was the other thing I wanted to do? Right, metal. So this has a compiled metal library in it. And none of the local tools that I have can do anything with this, but I do know that there is a MetalLib Explorer. And this is just like an online WebAssembly type thing to pull apart the MetalLib file. There we go. Okay, so download the assembly. I will save this to here. And this has text effect glimmer. This is pretty unreadable, but maybe Claude can do something with it. I'm done with that for now. I'm gonna open this up. So now we have ChatKit and text animation support, both decompiled. I'm going to merge them and name them iMessage and drop these into Cursor. Get rid of this. Okay. What do I know? These are the two main... I've got to turn off Cursor tab for this. It's going to bug me. These are the two main private frameworks. I'm writing this to eventually paste it into the chat bot so it can start doing a deep research. Two main private frameworks Apple uses to render the iMessage UI. ChatKit handles most. I believe text animation support handles the actual text effect animation parameters. I have disassemble both frameworks down to pseudocode. I want to explore how the jitter text effect works. How the I want to explore how the jitter text effect works. Yeah. Read through code files and return your best guess. All right, so that's pretty straightforward. It has access to, I'm going to give it ChatKit here. ChatKit handles most, I believe. Text animation support is this. Oh, right, I remember what I want to do. Right, okay, so I wanted to grab this text and then do the pasteboard viewer again, so I can give it that information. When I add the jitter text effect to a range of text, three things get copied to the clipboard: the rich text version, the plain text version, and this plist associated with it to this plist to associate the text effect with it. This attributed string plist. I dump that in. That's a lot of code, but it's fine. The interesting part is this KIM text effect attribute name. Okay. So paste that in. That's everything I know. And off it goes. Then you just kind of wait for it to do its thing. While this happens, I can start to just do my own searching. Okay, so nothing in ChatKit explicitly talks about text animation jitter, but when we did the Swift section on text animation support, it does. As text animation support, text jitter, text effect, the timing. Okay, so it looks like it's digging pretty deep into Swift UI and like the actual text rendering engine. I bet it's doing something with the text renderer. Text attribute. I'm curious what it's doing in here related to text attributes. I'm just going to filter the search to text animation support. Attributes. God knows the name of the thing. Text effect attribute name. Is it aware of this? Text effect attribute. That's interesting. I wonder if this is documented anywhere. And text effect attribute, nothing. Look out on GitHub. Has anyone talked about this? Interesting. Okay, so that, some people have done some reverse engineering on iMessage about displaying it. Okay, that's good. This is, what is this, Rust? Yeah, it's Rust. This is an iMessage exporter. Yep, okay. So I believe we had the effect ID 10, which works to jitter. I do wonder why they're out of order. I wonder if there were a few effects that didn't make the cut and they just yanked out those. Okay, so it has this. Are they doing anything with this? Jitter, text effect. I think this is just parsing it. Okay. Oh, it's talking about pin conversations. important. That is a different jitter effect that we're not interested in. Did it get anything up until that point? Yeah. So there's just that last part where it started to pick up on pin conversations that I really didn't want it going down. Let me finish off searching for this jitter thing. Okay. So do I text effect base? Christ, that's a long extension. Okay. Has anyone talked about text animation support? These big files tend to make Safari angry. Okay. So IAM shared utilities. Oh, okay. So that framework handled actually assigning this to it. Does it do this anywhere else? You know, the GitHub UI is just bogging down my system. Come on. Just give me the raw file. I'm a big boy, I can take it. Effect. Okay. All right, so those are the older effects with like the, you know, confetti and whatnot. Seems like it doesn't do anything else. Impact. Okay. Expressive, is that anything? Okay, so expressive is the old code name for the bubble effects, not the new text effects. Animation. And it only talks about text effect once. Okay. What is this file doing? Oh, okay. This is like an iMessage web renderer? How the hell are they doing this on the web? There's no way. There is no way they're doing this. Oh, that's a cop-out. That's it? Okay. All right, yeah, I mean, I guess if you send the big thing, it just makes it half an M larger. Small just makes it 20% smaller. Yeah, I guess if you wanted to do nothing with your life, that is the way to do that. Is there any other interesting details in here? This seems like a lot of like collection, like boilerplate collection stuff that I don't really care about. Drawing composition stuff. What was that glitter thing? Glimmer. I don't know what this is talking about, because there's not a glimmer text effect in iMessage. I do know that I already decompiled UIKit, so I can just drop this in and see if anyone else, by anyone else I mean any other classes in UIKit, use this Glimmer. No. Okay. I also have all the headers for iOS 26, and we can just see if Glimmer. NS Text Animator. What is that? It's private class or something. All right, so there's text animation support. It seems like the only thing, EMK ripple animation. Oh, I think I know what this is. This is when you type in like crown in iMessage and then you go into the emoji keyboard and then it blooms the word crown and prompts you to replace it with the crown emoji or something. I bet that is what this, yep. There it is. Ripple coordinator is right next to emoji animation and using text-based emoji animation. Yeah, so I bet that's what this is. I don't know why there's a shader for it. What are the parameters? Alpha, shine, bulge. Yeah, I don't know why this is a shader. It seems like cracking it with a sledgehammer. Who else is using text animation support? Is this just everything in its own framework? Okay, so now we're seeing more about like NS text animation, which is what I remember that text ripple thing for the emoji replacement is from iOS 10, which is not normally when they started using a lot of shaders in UI. That was still around Raw Dog and TextKit. So I bet that's what they were using for this. I'm willing to bet this Glimmer is different than this Glimmer. You know what it could be? It could be that Apple Intelligence, like the writing tools replacement animation. I bet that's what that could be. Let me see if it looks like that. Writing tools. I don't know, rewrite that? Was that anything? Hold on. I can't record that because it's already recording the screen. Yeah, I guess. I guess that was Ripple. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just taking each line by line and like blooming it out. Hard to tell. Okay, someone has to have talked about NS Text Animator. NS Text Animation is a different thing. There's this tweet. How do I translate it? Korean, I think? Yeah. In the private NS attributed string key, there's a NSText animation attribute name. Well, you can conform to an object in the protocol called NSText animation. Okay, so NSText animation is a protocol. NSText animation resolving and contains a required method of apply keyframe. Interesting, it uses keyframes for this. UI text view seems to support this, but I don't know how to use. So do I use it internally? Okay. So my hunch about text renderer wasn't correct. But I'm willing to bet that under the hood, you eventually, with the SwiftUI text renderer, I'm willing to bet that eventually, if you keep digging down enough, it goes into the same core text to TextKit to whatever it's called. Is it still moving in here? Yeah. All right, I'm still letting it do its thing. Separately, there's something UIKit text effect view. Who's using that? Okay. So UI text effect view is used in WebKit for the summarization animation with the writing tool thing. Does anyone else use it? It's used in WebKit here. Safari, and then just internally in UIKit core. There's the pondering. Oh, okay, so the pondering animation is like the color ripple thing, the color waves. And I'm guessing UI text effect view just lets you show the animate. Where are they defining this? So UI view takes the source animation delegate manages. Okay. So it like wraps a UI text view or something. And it takes UI text view source, which is a protocol, as its source. So it's probably doing something icky on top of the text view. Like it's disemboweling its child for kicks, maybe. The parameters are interesting to look at. UIKit, pondering effect, chunk view, light. Oh, you know what that is? Okay. I see that cursor is finishing, but my hunch was right with the replacement. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's pondering. Do they still have chunks in the replace? Yeah, they do. Okay, so I jumped around a lot, but I know this isn't the point. The replacement animation, when it finishes a writing tool request, it is replacing it line by line, and I imagine that's what chunk is. I still want to look at it under a microscope, but that's where I close the loop. Okay, so it just wrote a huge response. Let's take a look at this. What gets stored in the attributed string? This key contains a data type base64. Interesting. Is that jitter? What was that key? 5 is big. 10 in hex. 0xa. Interesting. Okay, so it didn't contain that. All right. Moving on. At runtime, it attaches the second attribute, this object, under the private NSText animation attribute key. This thing. NSText animation attribute name. Tracking converts the selected IM text effect to a name, fetches a concrete animation type by name from animation support, and then writes both attributes. The object, and then the blob, which is like a text-ish representation. Interesting. Okay, so it adds the attribute with that data. Okay, so that's all attaching attributes to the text. Where does it live? Exposes the dedicated effect type. It conforms to the base protocol and supplies a custom duration provider. Effects manipulate per glyph. Is it, are these specific to jitter, or is this just everything? Does it talk about jitter here? No, it doesn't. So is every text effect just using the same handful of parameters? I mean, I guess it covers a lot, but like not everything. I guess it also has some like bonus metrics down here. And then it just kind of pulls stuff out of its ass. Can I see? All right, so I guess my follow-ups are, where can I see for sure where the jitter animation drawing happens, its parameters, metrics, keyframes, etc. Oh, right, yeah, okay, so that was to be ignored. If it's only available at runtime, how can I get those values? NSText animation. Where else does it get used? Text formatting UI also contains text animation, but I don't know why. There's also UI Foundation and UIKit Core. In regards to NSText animation, here are two other frameworks that contain those classes. There is UI Foundation and UIKit Core. Yes, okay. So I don't want it to just invent its best guess. I want to dig as deep as I can to figure out how it's actually, like, where's the random number generator for its jitter, for its wiggle. Is there some, like, list of magic numbers somewhere? I guess those would be pretty tricky to find at runtime, or at static analysis here. Demake line. Okay. Jitter likely modifies the drawing state without using shaders. Text animation support. Draw operation. Where's that happening? Where's that struct defined? Okay, so I guess a draw operation is an enum, or it's either a okay. Path interpolator. Interesting. And then it has a like a resolver. Are all of these just using stuff that could be defined in the in that handful of parameters? Where was it? Yeah. Yeah, I guess those are just translations. Nod. I mean, it gets bolder. Like, it messes around with the variable font. Shake? Yeah. So it is mostly offsetting the position, but I don't know how it's doing weight. I guess there it is. That makes sense. Weight delta modifier. That's just a font modifier. I wonder if that goes down into SwiftUI at all. Oh, finished. Okay. The draw call is dispatched through the dynamic effect layer into Swift. Then it participates in the pipeline, so it uses that. And then it has a bunch of keyframes. Okay. So it seems like I don't really want to make a library to swizzle this and inject it into iMessage. That seems awful. I could add a breakpoint, but I don't know if I can add a breakpoint with SIP enabled, with system integrity enabled. Okay. So it seems like I've kind of hit the end of what I can do with static analysis, but that's pretty much how I tend to do this. I hope this was in any part useful. If not, this has been a waste of your time and mine. Thank you. I love you. Drive safe.